this thing work? Okay, good, it works. So, welcome. Shame on you. Well, welcome to my recital. So, I am going to announce and yap about the composer who wrote each song, and I request that you hold your applause until I actually stand up and bow, instead of basically. Anyway, first piece, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He was born January 27th, 1756, in Salzburg, Austria. He died December 5th, 1791, aged 35, in Vienna, Austria. His father, Leopold, came from a family of good standing from which he was estranged. His mother, Anna Maria Perti, was born of a middle-class family active in local administration, which included architects and bookbinders. Mozart and his sister Martha were the only two of those 7 children to survive. At 3, he was picking out chords on the harpsichord, at 4, playing short pieces, and at 5, composing. Just before he was 6, his father took him and Nannerl, his sister, who was also highly talented, to Munich to play at the Bavarian court, and a few months later, they went to Vienna and were heard at the imperial court and at noble houses. In London, they met, among others, Johann Christian Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach's youngest son, and a leading figure in the city's musical life. His most impressive piece for the church was the Litanie de Venerabili Altaris Sacramento. He also wrote a concerto for 3 pianos and 3 piano concertos, the last of them, K271, showing a new level of maturity in technique and expressive range. It must have been abundantly clear to this time that Mozart, as well as his father, had a smaller provincial court like that at Salzburg was no place for him. Mozart and his father visited Augsburg, staying with relatives, and there Mozart struck up a lively friendship with his cousin, Maria Anna Thalka, which they had a correspondence involving much playful, obscene humor. I mean, who didn't? On June 18th, his mother got seriously ill, and on July 3rd, she died. On his return from Prague in mid-November 1787, Mozart was at last appointed to a court post in Kammer Musicus in place of Gluck, who had died. His parents must have hated him. That name's terrible. He wrote a Masonic cantata for his lodge and directed a performance of it on November 18th. That's 6 days after my birthday. Fun fact. He was also working steadily on the commissioned requiem. Later in November, he became ill and was confined to bed. And some apparent improvement on December 3rd was not sustained, and December 5th, he died. Now I will play Sonata in A major K331 by Mozart. This one is really too long in my opinion, for it is over 10 pages in total. It was fun to learn. The boys who are also Miss Margaret's student call it the big boy piece, or the pain piece, etc. Yeah, you get the idea. You all may be wondering.
Something to the people
Oh.
sitting way over there. It's really fun to see her fingers. So there's room over here. There's room in the front row too.
Yeah.
Anybody
Join us.
sitting in the front row.
Join us.
If anybody wants to move, because it is fun, don't you agree?
Come to the dark side. Yeah. For any of you who are wondering, how did she memorize that? I have no idea. I don't know either. I just did it, somehow. Anyways, this next piece is by Claude Debussy, who lived from 1862 to 1918. Claude Debussy, born in Saint-Germain-en-Laye, France, is often regarded as the most important figure in the development of Impressionist music, though he himself rejected that term. Debussy's musical innovation broke away from the rigid structures of classical music and embraced a new sense of freedom in composition. His early exposure to music came from his studies at the Paris Conservatoire, where he won the prestigious Prix de Rome in 1884. Although Debussy's work was not immediately embraced, by the time of his death, he became one of the most influential composers of his time. He had a tumultuous personal life, backed by 2 marriages and several affairs. Dude, have some commitment. And his health declined due to cancer in his final years. He probably deserved it. Despite his personal struggles, his music remains a cornerstone of the modern classical repertoire. Debussy was influenced by many non-Western musical traditions, including Javanese gamelan music, which he encountered at the 1889 Paris Exposition. I will now play Le Fille aux Cheveux de Lin, otherwise known as The Maid with the Flaxen Hair by Claude Debussy. This piece was hard to learn due to lack of patterns, but it sounds quite unique and cool, and many have described it as breathtaking. Johann Sebastian Bach. He lived in the Baroque music period, and everyone at that time had no money. It was from 1685 to 750, by the way, 1750. It came along from a long line of musicians. His family was so big that every year they would organize their own music festival. Like, I find that insane. I cannot imagine having enough family members to have their own music festival of just your family. Like, that must have been crazy. Imagine the family drama. Yeesh. He lived during a time before the pianoforte was invented, so his pieces were written for the organ, the clavichord, harpsichord, violins, and other instruments of his day. His brother and father were hired to play music for dukes, princes, kings, and were much well-respected musicians in Europe. Bach and his wife Anna composed many piano pieces that are well known today. He was deeply devoted to God and once told a friend, "All my music is written for the glory of God," which is also written in the back of Mr. Chronister's band room at Grace Christian School. Bach did not become famous until about 100 years after his death, when Felix Mendelssohn discovered his works. I will now play Prelude and Fugue in D major by Johann Sebastian Bach. I like this piece because it sounds very classical and is a good representation of that era of music. And yes, I'm going to make the Bach, 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 Bach joke. Who knows? This next piece is by Frederick Chopin. He was born in Zelazola Wola, Poland. Who named that city anyway? In 1810, to a French father and a Polish mother. His early musical training was in Warsaw, where he became a child prodigy. His works, including nocturnes, preludes, mazurkas, etudes, and polonaises, are infused with both Polish folk elements and a distinctive romantic sensibility. Although Chopin was a famous composer and teacher, he was a private individual who rarely performed in public, preferring small salons. Chopin's health deteriorated rapidly in his final years, and he died at the age of 39 in Paris, leaving behind a rich legacy of music that continues until today. Despite his frail health, Chopin's music exuded an extraordinary depth of emotion, leading many to speculate how his health affected his compositions. I will now play Nocturne in C-sharp minor, Posthumous, by Frédéric Chopin. This piece is really cool because it gives my hands a break and starts relaxing, like a night piece, which is the literal translation of Nocturne. And he did not think it was a worthy piece to be published while he was alive. He was wrong. I like it. And Chopin, one thing he definitely had was a Chopin list. And he also Chopin vegetables. Just think about that. Thank you, you're welcome. This next piece is by George Friedrich Handel. He was born in Halle, Germany in 1685. He began his musical education at the church and local opera house. His early exposure to music was complemented by formal training in law, as his father wanted him to become a lawyer. His passion for music prevailed, and he moved to Hamburg to compose operas for the city's opera house. It was in Hamburg that he gained early fame. And in 1710, he moved to England, where he would spend most of his career becoming one of the most prominent figures in British music. Handel's later years were marked by personal and financial struggles, but he continued composing even after going blind in the 1750s. Despite his challenges, the work remained its grandeur, and he even conducted performances from memory. Handel died in 1759, and his funeral was a public event with a large crowd attending in honor of his legacy. Handel was so passionate about his work that legend has it, he composed the entire Messiah in just 24 days, writing the final notes while locked in his study. You may know it by Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Oh, yeah, that's enough. This piece sounds just like I will now play the Harmonious Blacksmith from Suite Number 5 in E major by George Handel. This piece just sounds like a harmonious blacksmith working on the piece, for the movements get more detailed as they go, much like a blacksmith refining their work. Like from a giant iron thing to swords, like, yeah. There will now be an approximately 10-minute intermission for you guys to do whatever. Just don't set anything on fire. That's my job. This feels like I'm a teacher up here who's like, I'll wait. I'll wait until you guys get quiet. I was like, yeah, I was like, I'll wait. Yeah. And a silence fell over the crowd. That worked! Yay! Okay. The last piece of book 7 is by Béla Bartók. He was born in Szred, Hungary in 1880. Who the heck names these cities? Not me. A child prodigy on the piano, he went on to study at the Royal Academy of Music in Budapest. Bartók became a leading figure in ethnomusicology, traveling across Hungary and the Balkans to record and transcribe folk music. His works were often influenced by his growing concerns with political turmoil in Hungary around World War II, which led to his eventual emigration to the United States. Bartók's music was initially met with resistance in Hungary due to his departure from traditional Hungarian music forms, but later became a symbol of Hungarian national pride. Yay! Today, he is regarded as one of the most important composers in the 20th century. His folk music recordings are some of the earliest examples of field recordings we have, and his transcriptions help preserve many regional music traditions. During World War II, Bartók's health deteriorated and he was forced to leave Hungary. He settled in the US and continued composing, but faced financial difficulties even selling some of his compositions. I will now play Romanian folk dances by Béla Bartók. These movements have much stylistic variety, and that is one of the many reasons I favor this quaint collection. I challenge you all to try and find out when each one ends and the next begins. It's easy. those are all the pieces from book 7. Well, these 7 books are part of the Suzuki method, which uses oral memory, not mouth memory, ear memory. There's a difference. You can't play the piano with your mouth unless you're crazy. And you start young, and it uses aspects of memorizing or learning a language and applying it to music. And fun fact, my grandma Teresa, right there, she actually met Shinichi Suzuki, the founder of the Suzuki method. So you can ask her about that. And the first piece I ever played for Suzuki is Twinkle A, otherwise known as Bunny Bunny Hop Hop. And I'm going to play it right so I don't get hurt by Miss Margaret, but I probably could take her in a fight if we tried. Actually going to play from book 1 is Allegro by Shinichi Suzuki. Yay. Wasn't included. Okay, this piece is from book 2. It's Hungarian folk song, also by Bela Bartok. This one is Wild Rider by Robert Schumann. This one was specifically requested by David Dunlap, my former choir teacher. And guess what? It's from book 3. Oh no. This one, it's called Arabesque by Johann Friedrich Burgmüller. I don't know about you guys, but when I hear the name Burgmüller, it makes me think of like a dense pastry of sort, like a donut. Not really a donut, but like a bagel. Yeah, that's what it is. A not sweet donut. Okay. It's on book 4, by the way. I am speed. Anyway, this next one is about falling hands on people, also by Robert Schumann. I think I've had 3 pieces from this guy. It's from book 4. In case you haven't noticed, we're going in order here. Yay. Actually, wait, it's from book 5. Yes, 5. It's 5. Yeah. I recant my earlier statement. This last one is Spanish Dance Number 5, Andazula by Enrique Granados from Book 6. I love this piece so much I took it to state. Like, it is my favorite piece of the entire Suzuki method, and hopefully you guys can see why. I mean, I have been making a lot of jokes because I have to keep you guys entertained somehow. I mean, You guys want me to do more? More? Oh, okay. Oh no, I absolutely don't have an encore piece prepared. I'm kidding. Anyway, I am going to play Idol by YOASOBI, which is the first intro to the anime Oshinoko, which is about singing, like idols in Japan are singers, yada, yada, yada. It's pretty fun, and I hope you guys like it. Definitely not prepared beforehand. Haha. Okay, that's all, basically.
Anna, congratulations. Here's your...
Let's go!
Yeah, that is just wonderful. So before we end, I would just like to say thank you. I have some acknowledgments, so bear with me. This is Anika's last one. So I just have a couple things that I'd like to say, and I'll keep it short. All right. As many of you know, Teresa Johnson, my mom, is a retired piano teacher who began the Suzuki tradition in our family 2 generations ago. My brother and I took lessons, but neither of us made it past book 5. Anika, however, has persevered, practicing piano nearly every day for the last 14 years. She is one of only 11 or 13 students of Miss Margaret to complete the entire Suzuki repertoire. We have 2 others in this audience. We have Josh Petrosh, and we have Gavin Jones. So thank you for coming.
We did the math, and I have spent about 2,500 hours total at the piano from the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
We did the math before the results.
With Erin McIntyre, the math teacher. So thank you, Erin. Yeah. We're so proud of the legacy she continues and excited to see how God will use her dedication and talent for his glory. Her journey wouldn't have been possible without your encouragement. Over years, she has had many opportunities to use her music to serve, playing preludes and special music at church. Thank you, Jan. singing and playing in vacation Bible school and Christmas pageants, accompanying choirs and friends, joining worship teams at youth group and school, and sharing music throughout her community in nursing homes, at retreats, and various venues. Thank you to all for supporting Anika through her piano journey. Since she was 4 years old, you have encouraged her, listened to her play, attended recitals, talked to her about music, and stood by her every step of the way. I want to say a special thank you to Miss Margaret's husband, Steve, for always encouraging and sitting to listen to Anika play during piano lessons. I want to thank Mary Glover for encouraging her endlessly. I want to thank Brendan King, who came alongside her and gave her friendly competition and insights into classical music.
I'm still waiting.
I want to thank Patty, Grandma Patty, for always having the piano tuned downstairs when we visit. I want to thank Grandpa Ron, who loves playing saxophone and encourages music by himself playing at nursing homes and encouraging families hymn sing-alongs. Thank you to friends who came to the operas and to classical performances who give Anika company to the music events she loves to attend. Thank you to my mom for encouraging and starting this journey in our family. Thank you to Miss Margaret, who has always been there, not only to provide piano instruction, but attending Anika's musical Wizard of Oz when she was the Wicked Witch, coming to state piano competitions and providing encouragement from the audience at so many other venues. A few years ago, when Pastor Ken was our associate pastor here at Chapel by the Sea, we asked him if we could have a hymnal for Anika to play through. He didn't say we could have one, but he did say we could borrow it long term. And so we have for the past several years. It's right there. Today, we return that hymnal to its rightful home. We have purchased one of our own. It actually came 3 hours ago. But we are so grateful for the loan and how it was used by Anika to grow her faith and to give service to God and our church. What most of you didn't see were the struggles behind closed doors, the tears of frustration, the moment she wanted to quit,
I actually did when I was on book 2.
the times when life was overwhelming and practicing seemed and felt impossible. In those moments, your grace made all the difference. Miss Margaret always held a high standard, but she also encouraged Anika to play from her heart and do what she could do. Margaret reminded her that she had the skill to be a great pianist and to persevere even when times got hard. My mom has been a constant source of encouragement, attending every recital, showing up for every milestone, and even sending money early on to play for lessons when we couldn't, and bought our first piano. To the other parents raising kids in music, I'd like to share this. It goes fast.
I'm turning 18 in 2 months and 6 days, by the way.
She doesn't make it easy.
So am I.
Your children,
Don't tell me, please.
your children might not remember every piece they played, but they will remember how you made them feel. They'll remember that you listened, that you clapped, that you told them it was okay to try again tomorrow. I have also one more piece of advice. Encourage the music that inspires your child. It might not be classical, it might be jazz, or it might be some quirky anime music that doesn't have a bass line. Let them explore. Let them find their sound. Let them play on old pianos at farmers markets or in the dusty corner of a bus station. Or even when it gets busy and they only have time for 5 minutes to play each week, keep them in music. Anika and her whole family believe that one of her purposes is to honor God through music. She's excited to continue next year at Liberty University, where she'll sing, play, and worship the Lord through her gifts. We are excited to watch her continue this journey as she uses piano to worship the Lord and share them with others. In many ways, her journey is just beginning. Thank you all for being a part of it. We love you all. So thank you. We have two more
Before you guys go and get your grubbing your hands on the cake, we would like to take a group picture.
Before that,
Oh.
we'd like to have Miss Margaret up here. You have something to give her.
Oh, right. Haha.
You have something to give her. You want to explain?
One of the pictures back there, I forget which one it is on, but there is a picture of the very first piano lesson I had. And some of you may know that I have some artistic talent whatsoever, and I decided to recreate it. She had brown hair when I started, and now she has white hair. It's my fault, probably. Yeah. And also, have some flowers. Bonk. We love you, Miss Margaret.
Yes, but so that's it. But before you guys go, you mean the world to us. This is, even though she will graduate in May, you guys are our community. You have supported her. She loves you all. And we would love a picture with all of you. So our videographer, Greg, graciously said he'd take a picture if you guys all want to come to the front. We'd love for her to stand here, and then if we could all just stand with her and take a picture. I know she'd really love to bring that picture to college, if you wouldn't mind. And then we'll have cake. So if you could come all up, I'll get my phone.